Hi, first grade. It's Mrs. Storm, and I have a little friend here to say hello to you today. Does anyone recognize him? This is an image of Jesus. This is my son's Jesus doll, in all honesty, and he's being kind enough to let me borrow it. I have Jesus with me today because I wanted to help you today understand a very special part of Jesus' story. In fact, this whole week is the most special week of the entire church year. You know, the Catholic Church uses a calendar a little bit different than the calendar we're used to looking at. It looks a little something like this. We call it a liturgical calendar because it follows all the important events of the church year. And now we are coming up on the most special part of the entire church year. This week in the church, it's called Holy Week. And I'd like to share with you part of a story to tell you why it's so special. One little prop I have for you today is this guy here. Maybe you've recognized him. Maybe you've seen one of him before. This is a palm branch. It was taken from a palm tree and then blessed by a priest. Normally, on Palm Sunday, the beginning of Holy Week, Catholics will go to church and receive palms blessed by a priest. And the palms remind us of a really special story in the Bible, the story of what's called Palm Sunday. Well, it just so happens that I happen to have your beginner's Bible here with me. Jesus and I would like to share the story with you of Palm Sunday. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this story. It'll be familiar for many of you. This story comes from the Gospel according to John. John was one of our 4 gospel writers, and it's called Make Way for the King. 2 of Jesus' friends went to look for a donkey. Jesus had told them just where to find it. It would be tied right by the village gate. It was going to be a special donkey. Jesus was going to ride on it. When the friends found the donkey, they took it to Jesus. They put their coats on its back, and Jesus got on. When the people saw Jesus coming, they began to shout with joy, "Hosanna! Hosanna! Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." Some people cut branches off the palm trees. They laid the branches on the road. Other people spread their coats on the road, and they all praised God in loud voices for the wonderful things Jesus had done. Jesus rode to the big city of Jerusalem. The crowds followed him. The leaders of the people were angry. See how all the people follow Jesus now? They do not follow us anymore. We must get rid of Jesus, they said. Well, you could see from this story that Jesus entered the city of Jerusalem as a king. He was like royalty. The people loved him. He had many followers at that point. That's the part that made the leaders so angry. The leaders of the time, they were hungry for power, hungry for prestige. They wanted everyone to bow down to them, not to this man named Jesus. Because they were so jealous, they decided they wanted to find a way to get rid of him. Later this week, we'll be hearing the stories of what happens next. But for today, I'm going to invite for you to think about this story of Palm Sunday. Think about the story of Jesus entering the city of Jerusalem and how excited the people were, how wonderful they felt knowing he was so close to them. They wanted to reach out and just touch him. And I wanted you to think about on this day what you might say to Jesus if he rode a donkey right down your street, if he stopped right outside your door and you got to see him. Now, maybe you might not have a palm tree to pull off branches and bow down to him, but maybe there is something you'd like to say to him. Maybe you want to do a gesture like a high five or a wave or smile. Maybe you want to run up and give him a hug. Or maybe you just want to say hello. Think about how you would respond if Jesus walked down the street in front of your house. I'd like for you to find a quiet place somewhere around your house, inside or out. Your yard is even fine too, especially if it's a dry day. Find a quiet place for yourself where you can just take a few minutes to talk to Jesus. We're entering the most holy, the most sacred time during the church's year. This is a time for us to really draw closer to Jesus, to think about his story, and to make our story and his story connect. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll be back on a different day to share more of these stories with you. This is Jesus and Mrs. Storm signing off from Beaverton. Have a wonderful day, everyone.